to another video by Lizzie Lovett. Hello if you're new here today and welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe down below, and if you enjoyed this video that I have for you today then please like it. So anyway, I thought I'd just jump straight into this video, no waffling too much, and I'm going to tell you my top tips on what I wish I knew before working on a cruise ship. So back in 2018 I worked on a cruise ship, and that was Carnival Cruise Lines on the Pride. I thought I would share my tips on what I wish I knew before working on a cruise ship. But anyway, number one, how much time do you actually get off working on a cruise ship? So I was a youth counsellor, and my job as a youth counsellor was to work every single day, 7 days a week. 24/7 basically, you're on call. Even when you're not working and you're sleeping, you are still responsible and you're still sort of working, because if anything happens, you've got to be ready for that. Like, you've got to be ready for like test drills. You've got to be ready for if anything happens, or if they need your extra help in the camp, then you've got to be ready for that. So the hours you actually work vary depending on how busy the week is, but you are basically working every day. Number two, before you work on the cruise ship, you've got to have a medical exam. So you've got to go for a private appointment with lots of tests. So you've got to have eye tests, you have blood tests. They basically do like an overall check how well you are, because they don't want you going to work on a cruise ship if you're unwell, for obviously your own health and safety.
It cost me £400
to get that medical test, and that's out of your own money. They don't pay for that. It will last you, I think it's 2 to 3 years, I think it was, or maybe longer. But yeah, it was only a couple of years this will last, and then you got to do it again and you have to pay for it again. So you're spending £400 on a test that basically to check you're well enough to work for this company. I don't know about other companies, but I know for Carnival Cruise Lines you have to pay for that test. So that's another thing. Be prepared and save some money for these tests. Number three, before you work on a cruise ship, or if you're working for Carnival Cruise Ships, you've got to be, this sounds so bad, you can't be overweight. Your BMI cannot be over a certain amount. So that was one thing I was really worried about. I love food. Food is life. Working on a cruise ship, for Carnival Cruise Ship anyway, they said to us in our interviews that we had to make sure we were within like a limit, like a BMI like number. So if you were over that, you had to lose that weight before you could go work on the ship. Yeah, I know. So that's another one you've got to remember before you go work for a company like that. Number four, contracts are really long. If you think it's just going to be a 2-3 month contract, it's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy, you are wrong. It's about 7 months contract that you'll be working straight. You won't have time off. You won't have really a break. You will just have to keep working for 7 months straight on that same ship. How much do you really get paid as a youth counsellor? I look back at it and I go, great experience, I'm glad I did it. But how much did I actually get paid? So I think it worked out, because they do it in dollars, and you kind of lose track of what you get paid because you don't spend a lot. That's the one thing I will say is really good. When you're working on a cruise ship, you don't spend a lot of money. You get paid, I think it was about £1,150 I got paid, something like that on average. It might have been more, might have been less. I think it was about that. But if I think about the amount of hours I was doing a lot of hours, and the responsibilities are really, really high. So obviously you're looking after children, you're working on a cruise ship. It's not just the responsibility of looking after children, you're responsible for their life if anything happens. So yes, it's a big responsibility, and you only get paid £1,150, yeah, every month. Number six, it's not a vacation. Working on a cruise ship is not a vacation. Yes, you see some amazing places, and yes, you can get off the ship and you can go explore, but it's not a vacation at the end of the day. If you are around the guests, you cannot be an idiot. You cannot be rude. You have to keep standards up there, you know? Up there, sorry. So you kind of like, you're working and you're part of the brand, part of the cruise ship. you're looked at as carnival. So if you are exploring and you see guests, you basically just got to be on your best behaviour. You are strictly working. Okay? Working. Appearance is so important working on Carnival cruise ships, or in cruise ships in general, I would say. Like, you cannot be walking around in slippers or raggy clothes or looking like a messy thing. You have to keep your appearance up there, like really high. So again, elegant evening, you can't be walking out in jeans and some flip-flops. You have to be wearing elegant dresses. You have to be dressed appropriately. You are looked on as being very prim and proper, I guess. Unless you're in the crew area, that's fine. Wear what you like. Obviously, you have to wear something. But in crew area, below deck, you can wear what you like. But when you're in front of those guests, which is most of the time, you have to be wearing the appropriate clothes and look the part, all right? Another one, have a varied wardrobe. When I took a lot of clothes, I feel like, but I still didn't have the right clothes. So make sure you pack for the right occasion. So I packed a lot of things, comfort clothes, things that were nice, but I just didn't have enough of the right things. Like, crew had a lot of parties, which was really nice. Like, we didn't go crazy because you are strictly on a limit amount of drinks, but you had certain parties you could dress up for, and it'd be nice to have the options of what you're wearing, basically. So make sure you take plenty of options, basically. You want to have a varied wardrobe for all different occasions, all right? So make sure you have lots of varied clothing. One of the worst things I found working on the cruise ship, I found really, really hard, was the food was so minimal. You had the same food rotating every week. You had a lot of the same food. It was great trying new things, but I just wanted something from home. Like, I just really wanted like just some chips, or I just wanted a roast dinner. I just wanted a typical sandwich, like just anything that was just a bit more simple. So if you're allowed 2 suitcases when you go work on your cruise ship, 1 suitcase for your clothes and your essentials, and the other one, take a load of English food. Things that will last you, mug shots, cup of soups, snack bars, crisps, like certain things that you want to eat that you probably can't get on the cruise ship or in a country that you're porting at. Just take some food. I wish I did. Oh, lack of sleep. So yeah, the lack of sleep was really, really difficult. Having to make the decision whether or not to have a good time, socialise with friends, and yeah, have a drink or catch up on your sleep. It was so, so hard making that decision each and every day. That when friends would say, do you want to go for a drink? Do you want to go to the crew bar? Do you want to go do this? Do you want to go do that? Are you going to the party? Are you going to this? Are you going to that? Like, you're just like, I really want to. So having to make that decision whether or not you could actually have the energy to socialise was really hard. So lack of sleep, get used to that. A lot of crew members do not get to go above deck where guests are. So where the guests get to use the facilities and get to speak to a lot of the crew members. Like, I was a youth counsellor, I had the privilege of being above deck, using guest facilities, having guest food. I got to use a lot of the facilities. Not all of them, but most of them. A lot of crew members don't get that privilege. They have to stay below deck. They weren't allowed to be seen above deck unless they're working on something or doing something to do with their job. And I think that's, yeah, imagine that. Not being above deck when the guests are around. So depending on what job you're doing, make sure you find out you're allowed to use the guest facilities, all right? As soon as you start, you're basically getting thrown straight in. Especially if it's not your first contract, you'll be working within that first hour of arriving, basically. I think I had the first day, I think I started in the evening or maybe the next day. So I got there like in the morning, And then I think we had to be working in the evening, or it was the next day, which was like really great, and we were really lucky to have that. But most people, they get thrown straight in. Right, you're here, let's get you checked, let's get you some uniform, let's get you straight in. Like, that's how quick it was. So be prepared for that. Time is limited. Time is so limited. Like, you can get off the ships when you've got some time off in that day. So you might have a few hours off and you want to get off the ship and go see things, sightsee, go see where you are. Might want to get some little presents. So when you do get off, your time is so limited. Like, you might only be in that place for half the day. So you've got only limited time. You've got to be back working if you're working. Like, make sure you use your time really valuably. Like, if you've got something you need to do or you want to contact family or friends, use that time wisely because you are so limited on time. Overall, there were pros and cons to my cruise ship experience working on a cruise ship. I'm not gonna lie, there were some tough times, there were some emotional times, but there were also some really good times. So I met some really amazing people. You know, you experience some things you never thought you would experience in your entire life. The workers on those ships work so hard. They work such long hours. But what I would suggest is, if you are given the opportunity and you would like to experience a cruise ship job, then do it. Like, experience it, because you won't experience anything quite like it. And if you love vacations on a cruise ship and you want to see behind the scenes of what goes on, then trust me, you should see what goes on, because you'll never look at it in the same way, but you'll kind of appreciate it that much more, I think, because you'll see how hard everyone works and what training goes into it, and dedication, and yeah, just everything. It's hard work, but experience it if it's something you really want to do, and who knows, you'll probably love it. It's different for everyone. I'm a family orientated person. I want to be around my family, my friends. That's just me. That's who I am. I will never change that experience. I had such a great time because of so many people, and yeah, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't experienced that. So overall, you know, I appreciate what I did and the opportunity that I had. So experience it if it's something that you really want to do. Just make sure you go with the correct company, you're treated right, and you're doing the job that you're quite passionate about. Obviously, a lot of people go working on a cruise ship because they're trying to earn money for their family, to send home their money to support their families. And, you know, I wish you guys all the best, because you work so hard and, you know, you don't get enough credit for it. But if you're just doing it because you want to experience it, do a job that you really enjoy, because you don't want to be doing 7 months of your life a job that you really hate. But I'm going to leave it there, because I could just go on and talk more and more about cruise ship life, because there is a lot to say, and I probably would have to make another video on other things. So I'm going to leave it there. If you have any comments or questions, anything, then just, you know, write it down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video if you liked it, and follow me on Instagram. I will see you next time, guys. Bye!